So, thank you for your comment. I'm going to read it. It says, sometimes you should be in rooms you believe you have outgrown in order to offer insight and also understand the changes that are coming that will catch up to you in your industry by the people who are making those changes, and being able to identify who those people are, and if you can inevitably trust the sources of the change, you risk being displaced or useless in an industry because it's changing and you're unaware of that your approach is outdated. So I appreciate the sentiment, but what I'm going to say is going to sound like a flex, and I don't want it to be, so don't take it this way. The changes at any corporation do not happen from the bottom up. Those are ESAT scores, right? So your E-satisfaction scores tell me whether or not you like the changes that are being implemented from the board of directors and the CEO down, right? So I'm closer to those changes. As a matter of fact, I'm a digital director. I make those changes. I deploy code. I build things. I make changes happen on our mobile app as well as in our digital spaces. I am utilizing the feedback that is coming from customers directly to intentionally drive strategy and put millions of dollars into technology in order to make our customers' lives better. Those conversations do not happen in those rooms. They happen in the rooms that I keep telling you that we need to be in the higher up we get. Not everybody's going to get that information. Now, if you would have said it was good for me to go into those rooms that I feel like I've outgrown in order to ask more questions, get quantifiable information about the changes that I am making, that would be one thing. But that's not where you go in any corporation to get the changes. Those changes are implemented by those people, right? I implement them, they execute them. Those kinds of corporate directives come from the top, they don't come from the bottom. And so what that sounds like to me is that at your corporation or where you work, or I don't know what you do for a living, so I don't want to make any assumptions, that it's not clear on who's making the change. The change and change management comes from above. If it is how we are doing something, and if it is what is happening in the industry, what our competitors are doing, that competitive analysis comes from my level. That competitive analysis is what drives our priorities from a digital spend perspective. Those capabilities in terms of the data driven and educated guesses and educated changes we are making, and improvements and enhancements that we are making to make our customers' lives better, come from the level I'm on. So I'm saying that to say that, again, if I wanted to go into those spaces, it would not be for an exchange of anything other than a listening session, right? Which is also important as well. So do not get me wrong when I say that. But we have to be cognizant about where change happens and who's making the change. It will not make me useless because, like I said, I am the one who puts products that millions of people see in the market. I am the person that puts absolute dollars into our pockets. The things that I build yield profit for my company, right? And I know that those dollars are into the millions. So I hope that helps. Again, I do not want this to sound like a flex. This is just facts. And so we have to be cognizant of where we're most useful, right? In your comment, you said you don't want to be useless. Baby, I'm not. I am doing everything I possibly can to, and as a matter of fact, let me say this, because I know a lot of people are job searching and a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be on the side of the business that is, fluff and puff and blah, 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 blah. First thing out the door is administrative people. I have stayed on the side of income building things, and that has been my whole career, is how I can stay on the side of things that are being built versus managing things that are already done. So I hope that helps a little bit. But as a digital director, my job every single day is to answer questions about how things should be built, and to do that execution of what is being built, and to test what people build so that I can tell people whether or not that works or it's going to work on behalf of our clients and meet their needs. So yeah, that's all I got. But thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it, because I want to be able to increase the dialogue versus just tritely saying, nah, that ain't it. But I think you kind of proved my point. I hope that helps.